to a 128-foot dipole, only about 30 feet off the ground, and in the infamous square root configuration. I'm listening on a couple different receivers, but mainly on the ICOM 735 receiver. And everybody doing quite well, as I said. I don't have anything to sell or trade. I'm going to listen through the net, but not sure if I'll be here by the time it is ready for the round table. The speakers will certainly be rolling, but I don't know if I'll be in front of the transmitter to actually join in. But if I am, I will make it known. And thanks, Dennis, of course, for doing the net tonight. Good having you in there, and a great signal going on. So with that said, back over to you, W6DQ, with the rest of the group here on the Wednesday night AM International Net. This is KK6 IRZ, Jeff in Chino, California.
Super. KK6IRZ, W6DQ, net control. Well, thank you, Jeff. Nice signal here. Beautiful signal. And great. Your radio, that transmitter just sounds wonderful. So kudos on the homebrew job there. It's a magnificent sounding transmitter. And it's definitely doing a job. And I hope you have fun with your visitor. That's way cool. And I know you're going to have some fun going out to Vegas and other places with him. So best wishes to you and for safe travels with all of that. And hope he enjoys being here and seeing all the sights. So next I've got Ron, KD6DWS. It's your turn. It's W6DQ.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. W6DQ, KD6VW. Joshua Tree. And tonight I'm on the, number 1671. And tonight I'm on the Valley version. And 50-watt carrier. And feeding with a Turner Plus 3 microphone. And let's see, receiving on the MC125 multiplier, which I've got bypassed. Signals are so good. It's been a while since I've been able to do that. I bypassed the multiplier. And anyway, all that's going to the W4 Drake watt meter, to the SA2040 heat kit antenna tuner, and that's coax out to the end-fed long wire up about 25 feet. It's about 5/8 wavelength long on this frequency, and a quarter wave counterpoise off the shield. And knowing the swap or the round table. And thank you, Jeff, for doing the earlies. Fantastic job. And thank you, Dennis, for doing the net. And hello, Lisa. And I was curious, is that 88 key, the Roman keyboard, or 76 key? My Casio is a 76 key. It's bass E, the lowest note, like the bass note on an electric bass. Of course, it goes way up to the range of hearing. I can't even know the hearing. But I was curious how many keys on that keyboard there, Dennis. W6D, no one that's swapping a round table, but I'll be listening through. W6DQ, KD6VWS.
Okay, Ron, KD6VWS, W6DQ. Yes, and I do have an answer for that. It's 61. So it's a compact keyboard. It's only 61 keys, but I want to say it's either 24 or 32 voices, polyphonic. So it's a pretty interesting piece of equipment. It really does sound nice, and the action is really nice on it too. But anywho, thanks for. I apologize for not answering that earlier. I was going to do that and I missed it. But very good. Well, that was a fun discussion early on. So doing a good job. You're about 20 over here. Beautiful, beautiful signal. No problem at all. So next up, we've got Mike, KM6QQU. Please take your turn, W6DQ.
All right, thanks, Dennis. W6DQ, this is Mike, KM6QQU. AMI number 1768, and I'm running with the Johnson Mountain Cloud. And we're sitting on the SX 28 aircrafters. I'm using the Turn Plus 3 as well with the Johnson. And got a full-wave loop antenna being tuned in with the SA 2060A Heathkit antenna tuner. No on the round table, no on the swap, but I will be listening through for a while. Back to you. W6DQ, KM6QQU.
All right, Mike, very good. KM6QQU and the AMI West Coast Net, W6DQ. Fantastic. It's sounding good. Another big signal out here. And, yeah, full wave loop. I sure like mine. Mine is actually cut for 160, and they told me that it wouldn't work very well on 80 and 75, but I'll tell you what, it works great. So, contrary to popular belief and myth, the thing just works really well on 75 and 80. So, I'm really happy with that. It's a lot of wire in the air. So I think a couple of folks on here are running loops. I know Ken's got a loop, and I think George has a loop as well. So they do a good job. They really do work well. So next up, I've got my other half here, Lisa, KF6QNG. I'm going to just pass the mic over to you, and you can take your turn, W6DQ.
Okay, well, thank you, Dennis, for taking the net tonight, and Jeff for taking the early. Let's see, my AMI number is 1766. I have nothing to buy, sell, swap, or trade. So, yeah, well, if there's going to be a round table, we'll probably stick around for that. So, let's see what's going on with me. Just been busy with helping family and friends get through some medical issues, and have a friend here in Ridgecrest who's going through some stuff. She fell and she fractured a couple of her lower vertebrae in her back. So anyway, she's struggling to get by with that, and anyway, having a rough time. She lives by herself. She's a widow, and so anyway, trying to help be a support and a help to her when and where I can. So this is very important. So with that, goes back to Dennis. W6DQ from KF6QNG.
All right, Lisa. Thank you very much. And, oh, nice signal here. 2.5. No noise at all. Full quieting. It's nice. Oh, yeah. We're feeling bad for our friend that had the fall. That's the second fall she's had recently, so it's not good. But hopefully she'll be on the mend pretty quick. So let's see. Next, I've got Larry, CAM6RYC. Go ahead and take a turn. This is W6DQ. All right, very good. Thank you, Larry. KN6IYC, W6DQ. And getting myself back on frequency here. I shifted this thing off. There we go. That's better. That's better. Now I'm where I should be. Sorry about that, guys and gal. Fantastic. Well, you're sounding good. And guitar guy. Yeah, me too. I'm a guitar guy. I've got more guitars than brains. What can I say? Electrics, acoustics, you name it, we've got them. And amplifiers. Oh my gosh. I need to get rid of some of this stuff. Anybody's in the market for some guitar amps, I got a few to get rid of, including a Fender, let's see, what is it? It's a Fender DeVille. And I've got two Line 6 Spider Valve 100 stacks. And yeah, that's a lot of sound. That sounds good. Oh my gosh, I love those amplifiers. Anyway, enough on that. I guess I should mention what's going on here. And before I go to Bob, I am going to take a break and look for more check-ins. But if you'll stand by, Bob, I'll get to you next. Yeah, we've been getting ready for an event this coming weekend. This Saturday, we're setting up a radio station at our local public library with the local radio club here. We're going to have a couple of radios on the air and a bunch of activities for the kids that show up. It's Kids Day at the library, so we do this every year, and really looking forward to it. So we're going to do some Morse code. The kids like to play with that, but this time we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to have them send their name without telling me who they are. In the past, people just said, well, here's how you send your name. And I don't like that. I want them to send their name to me, figure it out, and then I'll figure out what their name is. And that's a cool way to do it. And we'll probably have some other things going on there, other activities. We'll be playing with some Arduinos and programming and what have you. So I'm looking forward to that. That's good. And last weekend it was the 6 meter, well, I'm sorry, it was the VHF contest that I did on 6 meters only. Had a lot of fun with that. I was talking about that on the before the round table last night. That 219 cues and 119 grid squares. It was like 30 states. I could not believe that. It was a good contest. Not that I'm a big contester, I just really enjoy that one a lot. So let me take a quick break and see if there's anybody else who would like to join us. This is the West Coast AMI Net, and this is W6DQ, your net control.
Kilo 6, Italy, Charlie, P6IC.
Well, good evening, Vic. Nice to hear you on there. Welcome. And let me see if there's anyone else. Well, that was just a carrier with no modulation again. So I'm not sure if you're trying to check in, there's no audio, no modulation. I'm not seeing any modulation on the RAF at all, just a carrier. So if you are trying to check in, I will check again in a little while. So next up, oh, Bob. Yeah, you've got a communicator 2. So I have a communicator 3, and they're probably a different tube complement. I was going to offer, looking at mine, I've got a manual here somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is. But I don't have a manual for a communicator 2. But figure out what that missing tube is. So over to you, Bob. WA9JIB, W6DQ.
Let's see, yeah, it's all sort of found. Rocking
tell everybody is Monday after the test, I had to go out and do my watering. I did do that. Right about sundown, or just about right about the last vestige of twilight. Covered a couple of houses. I see this bright light in the sky. Well, that's pretty bright. Pretty fast. That's what they call the next people. Yes, indeed. One of the best I've ever seen. What am I looking for? Well, since I got this Johnson communicator, I'm trying to get info on it. You would think that this, I hate to call it a transceiver. It's really a transmitter. I thought they had been really popular. No, I'm not finding it. That's right. Exactly. If anybody's got some benefit manual playing around, and one is for a communicator too, maybe get a hold of me. The right one, I'll be happy to buy it, and that way I'll know what I got. Also, the one I downloaded does not have a schematic. There was a separate schematic. Not very familiar with how this works. But I kind of like it, and it might be fun to schedule an AM QSO with somebody who has my logbook and then get rid of it. But it's something. It's retro. I like it. Anyway, so looking for that. And I might be looking for some tubes. I'll have to see if the one that I have replacements for. Let's see. Sure, I'll hang out for the roundtable. Okay, back to that. W6DQ,
Okay, Bob, very good. WA9JIB, W6DQ. Nice signal. Also 20 over here, so you sound good. Everything's working. And fine business on the communicator, too. And I'll have to check and see what I've got now, if I can figure out where it is. I do have a Gonset manual, and it's probably for the 3, though, because that's what I've got. That's what I've always used, are the Gonset Communicator 3s. Used my first Communicator 3 back in 1971, so I've been playing with those for a long time. That was as a novice. So nowadays I've got the Communicator 3 with the VFO and the VHF amplifier that goes with it, which is way cool. So that's kind of a neat piece of gear. And regarding the launch, yeah, I'm extremely jealous. We knew there was a launch last night at, 8:36, I think was the scheduled time. We knew it, and we forgot it. And I'm hearing from so many people that was probably the best launch they've seen in a long, long time. Starlink, it was a Falcon 9 Starlink launch. And I've got some video from a launch a few months back that from out here in the desert, believe it or not, as far away as we are. Beautiful launch, a little bit later in the evening, later with the sun position, so it's a little bit darker, but the sun's illuminating the contrail, of course. And you can see the stage separation. You can see the fairings fall off from off of the payload section. And one of the really amazing things that you got to look for is the recovery of the booster. when that first stage comes back. We can actually see that from up here. We've seen it a number of times. Just down towards the horizon, you'll see, if you just follow the trajectory, it's almost a ballistic trajectory for the booster, but not totally. But you'll see that thing light up and big red flame. It's just gorgeous to see that happen. So that's exciting, and I'm glad you got a chance to do that. And I'm sure there's others on the net here that did, and we sure got to hear about that too. I'm thinking of some of the folks that are near the ocean that would probably get a great view. But I'm still just kicking myself that I forgot about it last night. So thanks for sharing that, Bob. That's really cool, and glad you enjoyed that. That's good stuff. Well, another big signal, Steve. KF6SYD. I'm going to send it over to you. It's your turn.
All right, Dennis, KF6SYD, Steve in Long Beach, AMI 1708, CCA, AM 1000D transmitter, listening on SP600, 75A4, and NC300 National, all at the same time, and everybody sounds great. Wow, what happened? Oh, I got something wrong here. Is my tuner working? Maybe if I don't talk so loud, it will work. All right, I'll get back away from the microphone. Oh, I got problems with the antenna. It's not going to hold up. Then it goes back again. Yeah, I don't know if something's arcing or I have a bad connection. Anyway, ditto on the launch. I watched it too from my roof. I saw the going up, the orange flame when it took off. So I was doing it again. It's still gonna make it. I saw everything you saw, Bob, and I saw the re-entry burn as well. Okay, back to you, Dennis. This ain't working. Thanks for taking the net. Thanks, Jeff, for taking the early KF6SYD.
Alright, oh man, KF6SYD and the AMI net W6DQ. Bummer on the it's not, yeah, I can hear it. You can hear it on the signal that you're getting some arcing or something. So I hope you get that sorted out. That's not fun, and yeah, it's really messing with your signal big time. So normally you're a big loud guy here. So, and yeah, I know what that's like to do that. I burned up a MD5A Knife Viking antenna tuner some years ago on my KW1 and set the thing on fire. Good grief. And so flame loudspeaker, if you've ever heard of that, there you go, a flame loudspeaker. All right, next up, George, W6YEC, another big signal up here. It's your turn, sir. Take it away, W6DQ. Well, I'm not hearing George. Try one more time. W6YEC. George, it is your turn. W6DQ.
Okay, pretty good tonight. So, right? W6DQ. Thank you, Dennis. Just taking the net tonight. I guess he's helping you. And everything sounds great. And been waiting to get the tuner working, and we're going around in circles because everything is falling. I guess that's what's happening. But anyway, it works out now. We can make some new stuff. And so we're thinking about some different ways of wiring things in the shaft. And we'll be able to use this electronic tuner. We're going to use it for the vintage gear. sideband. Well, it was a good net last night on the vintage net. So, we're running the normal setup here, the AM Johnson Viking Range 2, driving the Dentron NLA 2500 for about 300 watts. And listening on a Hammerland HQ110 Alpha, also have the A4 turned down to warm it up a bit. And that's the setup right now. Hope we're getting out okay. I keep getting away from the microphone. I don't stay on it so you don't keep fading away. Alright, now on a round table we do have a TR4 with the power supply ready to go for somebody that needs a vintage sideband radio. It really works well for me for years. I ended up with a TR4 CW RIT, which I always thought was cool to have, and so I have that online, and I don't need two TR4s. So this one needs to find a new home. Anybody looking for a TR4, give me a call 619-277-6043. And also I've got a beautiful Halifax SX42. It's been all powder coated, looks nice, been recapped. And, you know, it's all radio that they still looks really cool. And you can get all the way up to the FM band. Well, got those things around there. We need to move that thing out and make some room. We've got a few things out in the shed that I want to get in. And 8:30. Okay, that's enough for me. Thanks a lot, Dennis. Appreciate it. Back to you then. W6DQ, W6YEC.
Okay, George, W6YEC at the AMI West Coast Net, W6DQ. Good signal, big signal. Glad you were able to join us. I was getting worried there for a moment, but would call you a little bit later on if you didn't come back up. But I'm glad you're there, and sounding good. And just for information, what are you looking to get for the TR4? Go ahead.
Oh, I'd say 300 would be fine.
Okay, I'll pass that on. I know some folks who might be interested in that, so we'll see. I'll talk to them and let you know. But good. Everything sounds good tonight. It's interesting, a couple of you out there are using multiple receivers. I find that always interesting, because I sometimes do the same thing. And I think Steve's got the record tonight with 3 of them. The FP600, the NC300, and the 7504. 3 really nice receivers that work very, very well. So that's pretty cool. George, thanks a lot for being here, and we'll get you a little bit later down the line. So next step, K6LGL. It'll be your turn now, W6DQ.
W6DQ and the West Coast Carolina.
W6DQ and the West Coast AMI net K6
Okay, Skip. Well, K6RG on the West Coast AMI net W6DQ here. I had a real tough time on that, Skip. It's pretty noisy and real rough on the audio, so I only caught about maybe 5 or 10% of that. It wasn't great. So, wish conditions had been a little bit better. But you were just really competing with the noise here. The noise level is a little high here tonight, so unfortunately, but glad you're here. Glad you could make it. And I'm going to go to the next one, Ken. I bet Ken might have had a good view of that SpaceX launch last night. But hoping that you're staying safe there with the fire. I think you were mentioning that earlier in the early check-in time. So I'd like to get the status on that. And so over to you, KW1NG and the West Coast AMI net W6DQ.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Dennis. W6DQ and the AMI net KW1NG. Well, I would have liked to have seen the launch last night, but unfortunately we had so much smoke in the air due to that fire that it was not visible. The fire is about 3 miles to the north of me, and I understand is it's moving very slowly, and the fire department is getting a handle on it, but it's still spreading. It's doubled its size today. It's 868 acres at last count, and they have 3 very large air tankers on down the U.S. and a bunch of helicopters on the other edge. So kind of keeping track of the deal. So AMI number is 1877, and no on the buy-sell, and no on the round table afterwards. I'm going to go out and see what I can see. Last night, about 2 o'clock, I went out, and I could see the flames at the eastern launch across El Capitan Mountain. Basically just across the Highway 8 freeway from us, so 3 or 4 miles away, something like that. Very good on the launch. My friend Mike Corbett went down, and I sent you those pictures. Those are awesome pictures, though. But we have a launch story. Years ago, when we were motorhome camping down at the Silver Strand, we also saw a launch, but it was not from Vandenberg. It came out of the water. The Navy test launched a water-launched missile, and we got to see it. So we were out on the fire and drinking, you know what, and all of a sudden this thing came out of the water about 10, 15 miles off the coast. And oh boy, that got us a little bit concerned for a while until, you know, it actually went north. So that was something. Wow. All right. I'm going to turn it back to you, Dennis, and let the net continue. So glad you're taking the early. Thanks for Jeff taking the net, and Jeff for taking the early. Appreciate that. And back to you, W6DQ and the AMI net, KW1NG.
Okay, Ken, very good. KW1NG and the AMI, West Coast AMI net, W6DQ net control. Well, fine business on everything there. All I can say is just stay safe with that fire. I hope that it stays at least 3 miles away from you. That's no good if it gets any closer. Like we were talking last night with Bob, AK6R, that when it came within half a mile of his place, the fire they had down there near him. And fortunately, they got that under control. And I see that looking on watch duty, yours is 25% contained, so that's a good start. And hopefully it looks like they've ceased air operations for the night, but hopefully they'll be back on it in the morning and keep working that. Very cool on the submarine launch. So either a Polaris or a Trident missile, I suppose. That's really cool. One of my neighbors was a program manager on the Trident program, and I always thought that was a pretty cool system. So very good. Well, you're sounding good, and glad you could make it with us. And I was a little concerned about that this morning when you sent me the text message. I didn't get that message till this morning. You told me pretty late because we were already throwing rounds by that time. But it did show up this morning. So and I meant to write back to you, and I blew it. I didn't do it until later today. So I remembered. Oh yeah, I got a text message from you. So, trying to catch up on stuff. So anyway, thanks for being here, Ken, and thanks for the story there on the missile launch. That's neat. So next, we got Bob, NA7RH. Hopefully you're still there and still stirring. So let's go ahead and take a turn from W6DQ.
Okay, W6DQ. You're pretty good now, but I put my finger on the level, it's Bob here in the Phoenix area, running the 6DQ special, and 8346 modulated by full 1625 booster out of the UNG 64 handbook for most sites. Okay, airline number 1443, this is the swap, the round table. What else is going on here? There's a little bit on front, and certainly reminiscing in my own mind about large campaigns way back in ago now. When the Williams Festival was going up, but it was kind of a predecessor to all this stuff going on now. And certainly enjoyable watching some of that. We saw some out of Vandenberg at that point. I missed out last night though. I'm sure of that. Some more pictures. Anyway, great to have my friend Joyce down in Tucson check in right after me, and hopefully he'll come up pretty quick. What else? Not much else to report here. I'm not able. If you can hear me, hear me now. W6DQ in the net.
Oh, no worries at all, Bob. NA7RH and the AMI net W6DQ. Big signal here, 20 over And just nice, really nice. So good to hear you. And conditions are really good between our locations, so that's nice. Yeah, space launches, they're always fun. As a kid, I was intrigued by all that stuff. And, of course, when I got into a professional career working at Hughes Aircraft Space and Communications, we were doing rocket launches. Actually, I was building ground control facilities to support the launches. So I saw lots and lots of launches, but usually remotely. But I've been to quite a few in person, and probably the coolest one was back in the 60s when I was in high school, going to an Atlas Agena launch out of Vandenberg on the base, not far behind the Black House. We were pretty darn close to the launch site, and putting up a, let's see, what was that called? I got to think about the name of that satellite. I can't think of it right at the moment. It'll come to me. But anyway, it was a scientific payload going up from TRW, of all places. So good fun. And Iridium launches, yeah, and they're still up there. Iridium is still active, which is, they were talking about shutting that whole thing down, and I guess it's still going. So that's good. That's good. Well, Bob, we've done a great job getting out here, and hopefully everybody else is hearing you as well. Nice signal. With that, I'm going to take a quick break again and see if there's anybody else who'd like to join us for the West Coast AMI net. This is W6DQ. Steve, I need your buzzer. W6DQ net control. Okay, nothing heard. So next up, George. Another big signal out of Arizona, W8VG, W8 Victor Golf. It's your turn. Please go ahead, W6DQ.
Yeah, very good, Dennis. W6DQ and the group here this evening. This is George, W8 Victor Golf over here in Oro Valley, about 10 miles north of Tucson. And got everybody nicely here tonight, Dennis. You're quite strong. Well over us 9 here, and just beautiful conditions for a change, and no moss, so that's a good thing. That always helps. Anyways, yeah, we missed the launch here. I have seen a few launches out this way. If I run out there and catch them in time when they go off, I used to have a great view when I lived up there in Pedro about 25 years ago. I had a great view of the launches out of Vandy. Yeah, but let's see. There was one a couple of months ago. I went out and got a nice picture over to the west. You know, as the sun had gone down on my the contrail on my iPhone. Yeah, so good on that, Bob. My neighbor in the north, Bob, you're nice and strong down here this evening. And I'm shooting tonight, Dennis. I've given the 813s and the R390 the night off. I'm on my Super Senior 8040 model, and it's what do we run? I've got it dialed back to about 300 watt carrier, and listening on a Lenco DXR8 that is doing very nicely tonight. It's a little bit wide, but I don't have the moss in there, so that's good. Antenna's an inverted V up at about 45 feet for 160 fed with ladder line down here to a homebrew corner. And haven't been doing too much here today. It is hot here in Tucson. Summer has finally hit us, and it was about 105 today. And tomorrow they're saying it might get up as high as, it might even break a record. It might get up to somewhere between 111 and 114, I think, which is a record from about 4 years ago. So very, very hot. I'm working on a homebrew project also here in Arlington, and today working on some coils. I've got, long story short, Dennis, I've got a 1930 station over here that I started working on about 2-3 years ago. It's a Breading 12 receiver, very nice receiver that we went all through about a year ago and recapped and replaced a lot of high resistors, had to fix a couple of coils. We got it working. And Utah Junior 25-watt 6L6 rig that works quite nicely. It puts out a fairly clean signal, but KW only. So we're thinking about building a period phone transmitter, and I've seized upon this old RCA design out of one of their handbooks and out of the RCA, the old RCA, what was that called? An RCA sheet they put out. And it's going to be a pair of push-pull, either 811s or 812s, link coupled and all that kind of stuff. So working on that, I got the RF deck laid out, and I got the coils wound, all the parts out of the junk box. Got a filament transformer I can use. So we're going to see if we can get it to work. I'm going to build a swinging link for it, and if it does, I might go in and build a rig. I've got a power supply here I can use, and I can even steal a modulator, I think, if I have to. But if it doesn't work, I'm going to probably just junk it all back to the junk box that we get. So we've been working on that. Yeah, unless it's too hot, and then I take a break. But anyways, AMI number's 1814. Nothing to buy, sell, swap, or trade. Just got a lot of old junk to work on. And I'm not going to hang around for the round table. I'm going to probably listen up to the rest of the net here. So, back it comes. Thanks so much for running the net. Great job, great signal over here into Tucson. W6DQ, W8 Good for call.
All right, George. W8VG, W6DQ, net control, AMI West Coast net. Fine business. Yes, well, big signal here. Again, over 20 over. Between 20 and 30 over, so you've got a nice big signal here. And good, clean audio. That Super Senior does a great job. And fine business on the 30 station. We've got a few of those around here we've been trying to get back on the air. One of the rigs I've got here was built by, actually I got two that were built by Gary Halverson, K6GLH. Martha's Delight was a 30s era design transmitter that he built. It's been on the cover of Electric Radio. And it's really a neat radio. I've got that here in my office, and I've got to figure out, all the vacuum tubes are all packed up. It's all vintage. The whole thing, he built the thing recently, but it's all vintage components. Everything in that radio is vintage. So it was built using parts from the era. The other one is well, that's a 500-watt CW-AM transmitter. The other one's another 500-watt AM CW transmitter that uses a Collins 4A exciter. And then he built a modulator, built a power supplies modulator, and RF amp link coupled. And I'm trying to remember what the tubes are, and I can't think of what they are off the top of my head. They're an oddball tube, which is why he built it. He had the tubes, and so he built the transmitter, the amplifier, because he had those oddball tubes. And it's what he called the transmitter. It's like an RF200, I think, is what it is. But it's been a while, and they're packed up. But when I moved up here, so I haven't seen them for 10 years. I got to find that stuff. Figure out what I did with them. But I want to get that back on the air. And we've got a couple of other. We've got a 30 FXR Collins transmitter that needs to get back on the air, and I've been working on the 32RA. So 4 transmitters from the 30s. I've also got a Breading 14, so I know those Breading receivers, and they're beautiful. I love the front panel on those. That's a nice piece of gear. So cool stuff, and good luck with that project. No, I don't want to see that go back to the junk box. You gotta get that going. That's way cool. That kind of stuff is outstanding. So next up, I've got Kevin, WA6JKN. It's your turn. Go ahead, W6DQ, net control.
Get the cord here. WA6 Juliet Chevrolet November. Got to turn the audio up. There we go. WA6 Jacks, Kings, and Nines. Man, oh man alive.
got some RF going down the transmission line. The current is high. I've had this current meter in line for decades. It's nice to know what the current is, 50 on the road. This is W6 Jacks, Kings, and Nines, Kevin and Gilroy. Gilroy is also known as the garlic capital of the world. The rig I'm on tonight is the Collins KW1. It's been in the family for about 70 years. It's married up with the 75A4. I'm copying everybody. Too bad you couldn't hear Skip. He had a couple of things. I think the most important one was he asked a question. Does anybody know how Mike's doing? K6ZSR. So if anybody has any information on Mike K6ZSR, you can pass it on to Skip. I can say I've talked to him. I don't remember his name very well, but I do believe it was on 40 meters. We were talking about some Wi-Fi switches. He was working on a circuit that was ginormous, and I had found one that was a little bit more elegant and smaller, and so I shared that information with him. So when I talked to him, he sounded great. So there you go. But I don't remember if that was 6 months ago, a year ago, or what. Time flies at my age. All right, let's see. You guys were talking about launches. Yeah, that was. I spent 10 years on the Titan 34D program and Titan 4 program, and of course there's a whole bunch of other missile programs that I was involved with. Mainly ballistic interceptors, THAAD, PAC-3, and there were some really big ones. The big ballistic interceptors for the ICBMs, ground-based mid-course defense. That was a huge missile. All of them using lethality technology. And it was all very impressive stuff. Some of the best engineers in the world put that together. And as far as launching rockets, many of them over the years, I have actually spent time at the launch base, both in launch control and mission safety, as well as overseeing contracts. And I like to talk about the contract part because it's the most intriguing. Mission safety is mission safety. Launch control is launch control. But contract is critically important because what happens is, let's say you have a multi-stage rocket with a critical payload. It's a heavy payload. And so the customer needs a little bit more burn time for a particular stage as you launch. So guess what happens? The government would ask the contractor responsible for that stage and say, can we get another 5 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever, more burn time? And then the contract officers and the technical folks would put their heads together in real time and renegotiate the contract on the spot. If you want this thing to burn another 5 seconds, it's going to cost you another $5 million. Or we can't guarantee it. That kind of thing. And it's important because the payload is in the billions of dollars. Some of our most secret satellites. So that's a whole answer if you've never seen that happen in real time. Contract negotiations in real time.
range safety is different because that stuff is all done based on instrumentation and trajectory. If something's not going right, you just issue a destruct command and the vehicle destroys itself. So we don't have a missile land in Los Angeles if we're launching from Vandenberg, that kind of thing. And yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. If you've ever had the pleasure of watching a launch up close and personal like that, you can not only see the bright flash, but also the ground shaking and the sound. It's just fantastic. It's really a great experience. They have at Vandenberg, they have what's called the VIP lookout center for watching the launch. You're real close, and you get to see everything, hear everything, and feel everything. I've been invited there many times. For the vice commander for the West Coast Launch Operations for Space Division was Major General Nate Lindsay, a personal friend of mine. He was also selected for the Astronaut Corps, although he never went in space. A real down-to-earth guy, I'll tell you that. I remember the pre-launch parties, we go down to a restaurant where they cook up some delicious steaks. And then a post-launch party is we'll have over at the well, I'll leave that place undisclosed, but we have a post-launch party and a 55-gallon drum filled with all kinds of different cold drinks with lots of ice, all on ice. And Nate, he comes walking up. He's in his full uniform. He's a major general. And he took his jacket off, and he just reached down and he grabbed a cold one from as far as he can reach in that 55-gallon barrel. He wanted to make sure he got a cold one. Because that particular launch, which was a Titan 34D D-14 in 1980, whatever it was, I don't remember the year, was successful. Released its special payload, and everybody was very, very happy. Everything performed nominally as a nominal launch. Those are the terms we like to hear. All right, well, there you go. That's my little bit of tidbit working with these space vehicles and missiles and so on and so forth. But I think of all the weapon systems I've been on, all the programs, I think my most favorite is always going to be the nuclear submarines. Those are way beyond anybody's imagination. Rockets are pretty rudimentary. Submarines, that's a whole different ball game. That leverages the smartest, the highest technology known to mankind. All right, back to net control. And if you have any information on Mike, K6NSR, that was Skip that was asking, and I think he's doing okay. The last time I talked to him, he sounded fine. So if you have any new information on that, anyone, please chime in. W6DQ, WA6 Jacks, Kings, and 9s.
NY6L? Got you, Jay. I got you on the list. NY6L. I got your number 2 now. We got one more in front of you, so we'll get to you pretty quick here. Let's see. WA6JKN, W6DQ, net control here. Well, hi, John. And yeah, I'm glad you turned the audio up. I was going to make a comment about that. Your modulation was way low, and I was having trouble hearing you. But boy, you turned the gain up, and you took off. So it sounds good. Let's see. Regarding Mike, yeah, Mike is fine. K6NSR, Mike is fine. I spoke with him, God, just recently, within the last 2 months. Spoke with both he and Angie, and they're both doing very, very well. Mike's been getting back on the air. He's hoping to join us again on the Vintage Sideband Roundtable. And I spoke with him about getting together with him and finishing working on the 20V2 because it's not on the air yet. We were working, the last time I was with him, we were working on getting his 20V2 going, and it's basically it's ready to go. We just have to finish up some of the interfacing on it. Built a sequencer for it for transmitting and installed that, and we did a little bit of revision to the control wiring. So it should be a really nice transmitter when it's all going. But yeah, we got to get him back on the air with that. But yeah, they're doing very well. So Mike was actually interested in doing the barbecue again this year, but Mark's been kind of pushing him not to do that, and he and I talked about that as well. But let's see, remains to be seen what will end up there. And so Skip, hopefully you're still there and you copy all that. See, Kevin, the missile programs. Yeah, I worked on a lot of the payloads and the usually ground segment of the payloads, and I know exactly the kinds of payloads you're talking about. We could talk about them, but then we'd have to shoot each other. So anyway, one of our payloads was I think it was a monster. It went up on a Titan III. It might have been a 34D. Now that I think about it, it might have been a Titan 34D, but that was out of the Cape. And of course, the stuff I worked on was commercial communication satellites. So a lot of launches there that usually participated in I was one of the guys that built the mission control centers. So that was a fun part of the job. My former father-in-law, ex-wife number one's father, was base commander at Vandenberg during the Minuteman program, and he was the commander there during the first